let's say in a week now, how many hours do we spend in church? We spend most of these hours outside the church. So that means we should carry the lights from the church to the world. So if we leave this thing to these people, they will do it the way they think it should be.
Sometimes I sincerely do ask myself, if Jesus had come in this our dispensation, I don't think many of us would have believed it.
Because in our mind, we already have how we should walk, how we should be. And I won't really fault the people because it all started from the church. You have doctrines.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Live Podcast. It's another episode, and as you all know, my name is Mercy Jumbo. It's nice to have you here today. All right, we have a guest with us in the person of Mr. Felix Bawa. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. If you are not a newcomer or a first timer, you should know Mr. Bawa here. And the last time he came to banter. All right, but today we are doing something very different, right? Yeah. So today we'll be talking about a balanced Christian life, more like religion in the church. Yes. So these days in church, we see that everybody is a judge, right? Sinners, condemning sinners for sinning differently, right? But they call it Christianity. So just to move on to start up, I want you to explain what's the thin line between religion and Christianity.
Okay. Religion has always been a way of finding God. Religion is a way of finding God. That's why we have so many religions in the world. And the quest is every one of them is seeking to find the true God. We have people in different parts of the world that worship different kind of things under the name of religion and in quest of finding God. Yeah. But Christianity is not a religion. It is a lifestyle. It is a way of life because the word came from the demonstration of a personality over time. And people saw a set of people who have been with Jesus, and they were like, we can see the lifestyle. We can see things that are common in these people. They've been with this man. So we call them Christian. And that is where the word Christianity came out from. Yeah. So it is a lifestyle, not a religion.
All right. So what will you call religion? When you see a Christian, or someone who is supposed to be a Christian, living a certain way, when can you call this person is religious? It's being, should I call it overly spiritual?
Well, I won't even call religion and spirituality are not really the same thing because the spiritual may not be of God.
Yes, I'm talking.
Yes. Yeah. So, but we have people who can be religious and not be a Christian. It's just like you being in an airport under a covering. Yeah. Doesn't mean you necessarily be on a particular flight. So you can roam around, you can try to be like, but you're not. There's a particular adage in Yoruba, for non-Yoruba speakers, permit me to say, he said, gbogbo wa lọmọ wa, but tó bá di alẹ́, ọwá mọ àwọn ọmọ tó bí. What this means is there's a particular king, just like a king that calls everybody my children. But when night comes, the real children are the ones that will be close and they are the ones that will sleep with the king in the palace. Yes. So there are people that will go. So there are people that hide under the umbrella of religion because they are being religious to fake being part or to fake being a Christian. And it will always show. When I started thinking about this topic, a balanced Christian life, I was like, okay, what do we mean by this balanced Christian life? How did it started? So I went back to the very beginning to do a little bit of study. So because this lifestyle that Christianity came out from started with the first man himself, Adam. So when I was reading Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, it said, and God blessed them. And he said, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish. We always call be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the blessing. That is not the blessing. That was just an instruction. Be fruitful. Multiply, replenish. But the real blessing is he blessed them. The bless there means barak, is an Hebrew word. The original word for that bless, barak, means he impacted them. He gave them something. There was a deposit of God. It's just like, if I bless you with this phone now, you only have this phone. But if I impact you with the knowledge of making this phone, I can now tell you, go and make more phones. So now, that is how the first man got it. By design. Jesus came and lived that lifestyle of balance, showing it in everything he did. Now, as Christian, the first set of people that walked with him, the disciples, they continued in this kind of lifestyle. Dominance, demonstration of power, both in spiritual form, in politics, in all ramifications. So if you are just being religious, you are not under this blessing, this barak, this impartation. You are not there. And what you don't have, you don't have. Yeah. You can fake it, but it's not there.
All right. You talked about dominating every areas of life, not just in the church, yes, but outside as well. And almost all of the time, we now have this idea about some areas of life. For example, politics. There are many churches now, because the body of Christ is the church. There are many churches now that still see politics as this shouldn't be for Christians, or this is not a Christian thing, right? Even some part of entertainment industry, they'll say, no, this is not what you should do. This is where you should be. This is where, right? So what do you think about that? How can one make people believe or make people see that we can still do politics and not be contaminated? We should be in this because it is also part of what Jesus would want us to do.
Okay. First, I would say even the church is looking imbalanced today. Yeah. And if the body is not balanced, it will throw off a lot of individuals, a lot of Christians off their feet. Because the idea, the model that churches are looking at now is a model of conformity. They want everybody to look alike. They want everybody to be alike. That's why growing up, they want us all to have the same kind of pattern. They want us to have the same kind of pattern. That's why once you see a young teenager that goes to church regularly, that dress a certain way, we start saying, pastor, pastor. Because that is like the expectation of the people that this is what. But it is not, it is wrong. Which, in fact, in the Bible time, you can't separate the church. In fact, you can translate the church as the government.
Yes.
The government.
Yes.
So you can't remove politics from the church. Before Jesus, during and after, the church has always been involved with government, with politics. You can't separate it. But the more the church starts to distance themselves from politics because they think it is a dirty game, the more darkness, the louder the darkness becomes. Just like Matthew 5:14, you are the light of the world, the city set upon the hill that cannot be hidden. Now, nobody will light a candle and put it under a bushel. Now, most of us Christians, we are lights being put under a bushel. The church is full of light. The light is now choking inside the church, and there's so much darkness in the world. And come to think of it, we spend only how many hours of, let's say in a week now, how many hours do we spend in church? We spend most of these hours outside the church. So that means we should carry the lights from the church to the world, so that the darkness in the world will reduce. So if we say, okay, we are not going to be involved in this, we are allowing darkness to lead the way. So if the dumbest of us, the weakest of us, is leading the strongest of us, what do you expect? So the church should be at the forefront of anything. Politics, government, entertainment. As a filmmaker, I know that movies are mirrors of life. Most of the things that people do now, most of the things, consciously or unconsciously, they picked it up from movies.
Yes.
Without knowing.
Yes.
Without knowing.
Yes, they create beliefs from...
It make believe. Once you watch it many times,
yes,
it enters your subconscious mind, and you begin to believe that this is how it should be.
Yeah.
So if we don't have a lot of good movies, good images to guide our mind, to shape our mind, how are we going to live right? How are we going to be that man, that woman that God wants us to be?
Right. Talking about being in the movie industry, let's just use that as an example, just to represent other facets like this music, acting, all of it together. What do you think about secular movies? Like, if a Christian should act a secular movie, we tend to say this person is deviating. If the movie is not talking about Jesus, or they are not calling Jesus right there in the movie, it looks like, all right, this person is deviating. Okay. So when do you say, okay, this person is beginning to deviate, even if we know that this person is a Christian, this person do Christian films, but there's a film now that the person has acted that is looking like a secular film. Should we tag that a sin, or the person is now backsliding?
Well, for me, it is not a sin, and the fellow is not backsliding. Okay. Because do you have people call themselves Christian doctors? No. Do you have people who you say, this person is a Christian engineer, he doesn't build any other thing than church? No, now, the same way we don't have that. And please, secular most of the time, I stand to be corrected, is not affiliated to any sect, any religion, it's just, we all have our secular life.
Yes.
the school we attend is secular.
And it's not the same.
And it's not the same. The course we studied, all these things, they are just secular. So I can be a doctor and a pastor. So why can't I be an entertainer and a Christian? Now, using the film industry as an example, we have different areas of our lives that needs to be catered for. There are things that Jesus did that are principles of business that are secular. When the taxed people wanted to collect money from Jesus, he said, okay, Peter, go to the river bank, the first fish, you see a coin, bring it and pay. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's a secular part of his life because he's relating with the secular people, the finance people. Now, I can make a movie talking about finance, principles of finance. That's because there's something called segregation. If I make a movie strictly for Christians, that means I'm narrowing the people I want to reach out to. I'm telling all other people that, no, this one is just for a set of people. Even if I tag a film, okay, a faith-based film, it's not supposed to be like all the time we call the name of Jesus, because we have other aspects of our lives. We have secular part of our lives. So if a man, a Christian, acting in a secular movie, not worldly. Now, worldly.
Yes, I need a balance.
Yes,
so that
worldly is anything that will take you out of the faith. Anything that will compromise your standing with God. Do you understand? Anything that will dent your faith. That is worldly. So secular is not the opposite of faith. Worldly is. So we are not talking about worldly here. So if we're talking about someone acting or creating pornographic content, that is depopulating the kingdom, feeding the flesh as against the spirit. But when we have things that will elevate your spirit and your soul, that is not a sin.
So the issue is not actually the secular. I think we have that idea that secular is worldly.
No, it is not.
So there's actually a big difference.
A big difference
between worldly and secular.
Yes.
Right.
Like, for example, our national anthem now is a secular song. Yes. ABCD is a secular song. Happy Birthday to You is a secular song. Yeah. We all sing it. We have no issue singing it. Okay, now, personally, I've always been a fan of making love films. Yes. Love songs. Because if we leave love films and love song to the worldly people, they will teach you the way they want it to be. There's a love story in the Bible.
Songs of Solomon.
You get a lot. We have Ruth and Boaz, a wonderful love story. Yes. You get. So there are a lot of things that, as a Christian, you have a love life. I'm married. I have a love life. You get. So we have a lot of other people. So we should have films on love. We should have films on dating. We should have films on a lot of things. Now, if you go to a wedding or you're having a wedding and you have issues selecting songs because we don't have love songs that doesn't have some filthy or element of worldliness in it. Because love is not secular. Love is not worldly.
Love is God.
You get. So if we leave this thing to these people, they will do it the way they think it should be.
Right. Yeah. This is what I also want all of us to get, that there is no, we always feel like there's a particular aspect for some particular people, and those people should not be Christians, right? And I came across one podcast where the man was asking, it's just like a panel session. So if we want to go for, if we are going for, or we are getting married, we need songs. What kind of song should we pray? Should we be praising the Lord, right? Because we've left everything for the world, and we just feel like since we are Christian, we should just be sing. There is nothing wrong with praising God, but as you said, we also have our secular life. We also have love life and every aspect of life. So this is one thing I also want everyone to note, that it is not just about the church. It's not just the four corners of the church. If we don't want other people to tell us that this is how it is, we need to create something better from it.
Now, from using Psalms and Song of Solomon, I had a minister said something, I think, last week. He said, all the Psalms in the Bible, they were songs. But our generation are now praying it. They are praying a song that someone wrote. Some of them, we are just reading it. Now, if we don't have enough people, a lot of people that will convert Songs of Solomon, Psalms of David to our contemporary songs, we are losing out a lot of elements. Now, the same religious people will have issues if the people outside the faith are picking elements of the Bible or words of faith. We have songs that are not, they were not produced by a Christian artist or people who identify as a Christian artist, but the songs are purely Christian lines, Christian lyrics. Now, there will be debate of, should we play it in church, should we not play it in church? Should we accept it because of the artist or not?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yes, there's a way a vessel can contaminate a message. But when we don't have enough messenger,
that is when we have that confusion.
That is when we have that. So we should build as a church. That was what I said when we started, that even the church is not balanced. Once you see that someone is not looking like a particular
not looking like the pastor,
minister or pastor,
yes,
you like this person is deviating
out.
Look at the disciples that Jesus selected. Not all of them were gentle. Peter was not a gentleman. There was a time we had a church close to a garage, a notorious garage. So we always kind of have attacks here and there. And I was like, if these people dare to attack the church one day, if pastor is running, we should have some members that will stand by the gates and say we are going to fight. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if everybody only knows how to wear suits, looks like a pastor, now who will be the defender? Who will be like, yes, the soldier? Like Peter drew sword. He cut the guy. He said, for my Lord and personal Savior, who goes you? You get?
Yes.
But once we have those people in church, they'll be like, this person is not born again.
It's true. Yeah. We see that
So
like
we
that.
just want everybody to look alike.
You see, I remember when the Winlows acted, is it Professor Dele now? And they brought in some pastors into the movies. People's comments were like, they have deviated. Now the pastors have left the preaching, they started acting movies and all of that. And I asked myself, if Jesus had come in this our generation, would we have accepted him?
To be sincere.
Would we have accepted Jesus? Because Jesus rode with a lot of people that to us might not be right.
Yes.
So I keep asking myself, what do you think? If Jesus was in this our dispensation, do you think we would have accepted him?
Because in our mind, we already have how we should walk, how we should be. In our head, we already how we
This is
should
how
be.
it should be.
Do you understand? And I won't really fault the people because it all started from the church. We have doctrines.
Yeah.
Doctrines of, okay, this as this church is doing this church is doing this church wants the member to be like this church, and it's in the Bible too.
Yes.
There's the issue of the 7 churches on the Bible, different doctrines, different elements that Paul was addressing. We still have the same issue today, but there must be this coming together as one,
Middle ground.
a one body. This is not a matter of denominational doctrines. This is faith. This is the kingdom. Peter said, I become this to win a lot of people.
So it's not like the doctrines are wrong in itself.
No. Now, the reason why these churches put doctrines is to still guide their own people locally, their own congregation. And it's good, just the same way different tribes and cultures, different tribes and nations across the world have their own norms
Beliefs.
and belief system. Yeah, so but it should not overshadow the faith, the standing of, and the teaching of Jesus himself. It should not.
Yeah, talking about this doctrine, since you have talked about it, let's go into it. As you said, every church have their doctrines. Some can't go without tying your hair. Some you don't wear trousers. Some don't wear earrings. There's some kind of churches. I also had that issues. There's a kind of church I'll be like, hi, these people are a little bit worldly. Until I became close to them, I realized, wow, these people love more than us. Like, if they follow you up here, they follow up a lot. If they just have your number, your own is finished. They will follow you up a lot, and they love themselves, right? But they are different from the church I grew up. So I was looking at them with one eye, right? So if, for example, this particular church do not wear trousers, and because we've had that issue where, okay, this church, we don't put on trousers, and somebody, an unbeliever, or someone that just met Christ and is just looking for a church to enter, and they just entered. You see, there are situations where they chase that person out, and we don't know where that person will go. To me, I feel like there is rejection just because we are trying to protect a doctrine. And because of that doctrine now, a lot of people have been sent out. Sometimes, it's just recently now, people are seeing divorce in another light. Those times, even till now, some people will tell you, even if it's abusive, stay there, you are married. Jesus said divorce is a sin, remain in your marriage and pray about it, and even if it's abusive, right? And some churches too, a woman can come, or the man will come and complain that my partner is abusive, and they'll say, we do not divorce in this church until the person dies or go mental, right? What do you think the church should do about that? Still protecting their doctrine and accepting people in love. Because I also believe that this thing make people live in sin, cover their sin, right? They cover their sin. A man of God I heard, he was talking about 2 people that they were dating in church. The guy impregnated the lady, and the next thing he did, he came to them to confess that, see, both of them are in the choir, and the girl became pregnant for him. They are not married. They didn't even know that they were dating. And instead of them to chase them out of the church, or, oh yeah, go to back seat, this one, do this one, and all of that, even if they did that, they still had to support them so that they would not commit another sin of committing abortion. And they had to support them, ask him if he wanted to get married to the lady. He said he wanted to get married, guided them on what to do. And they are still in the church. They did not run away, right? And they began to do things the right way. So there was still chastisement, but there was comfort, like comforting, just as the Holy Spirit will do, will punish you for doing something, but he's still there comforting you, right? I think that is the part. What do you think where the church has not come into yet?
Well, once the church doctrine, or let me start by, there is the doctrine and there are doctrines. Doctrines are guidelines or rules set by probably the set man of the church, the founder, based on probably their own encounter with God.
Yes.
But the doctrine, the faith, this is the teaching of the kingdom, the backbone of Christianity, the lifestyle of Jesus. Not just what is in the Bible. Because it may even be biblical and still be wrong. So don't let us say, okay, because it's in the Bible, it happened in so, David did so. So doctrines are there. But once you start to honor or protect these doctrines more than the soul, because most of the time we treat our churches as all saints church, not all souls. Like you said, people coming to the church for the very first time. I was telling my wife before I left the house of encounters I've had with people going to a church the first time. The church is about to open, so we're just students' church, and we're waiting for the person holding the key to come and open the door. And the conversations I was hearing nearly got me running. Do you understand?
Yes,
so,
sir.
We should be careful as church workers, as people inside the church, to treat people first with love, to make sure they are established, more than putting your doctrine on them immediately. You have someone, this is someone you don't know, you don't have any idea of what this person is going through. You have seen this person for the first time, and you want to enforce the doctrine on this person. That is not the first thing to do. That is not the first thing to do. The first thing is to identify this soul, the standing of this soul. I've gone to a church to minister before, and after ministering, the prophetess climbed the pulpit and said, clap for people that just finished acting drama for us. But this church, we are not many because we don't like sinners in our midst. We don't want sinners in this church. That's why we are not many. And I was like,
the church is well.
You don't want sinners in this church.
Who do you want?
So you want them to come clean.
Where would they clean themselves?
Where would they clean themselves? If not you allowing them to come inside the church. So we should not put the doctrines of the church above the doctrine of the kingdom, above the teaching of the faith. So we should know how to manage these things. And doctrines can change. Doctrines can change. We've seen doctrines change over time.
Yes.
Churches that say, okay, we don't wear trousers based on whatever they feel it is their reason, are now wearing.
Yes.
Some, their local church will not be wearing, their international church will be wearing.
That's a problem too, because you realize there's a church I saw on TV, a minister in Nigeria went to minister, the music minister, and somebody now made a comment because the choir member was putting on trousers. And the person says, so in this church in Nigeria, we are not allowed to wear trousers. But there, they are allowed to wear. So the God is different.
So that's where people also put a little bit of cultural values, cultural beliefs into all of these, their doctrines. So it can change over time. I just don't want to be mentioning some instances so that it's like, oh, it's about this, but these things can change. So if you allow what is changeable or what is subjected to change to chase or to destroy souls that should have been won. And after like 10, 15 years, it now changed. And I'll be like, okay, now, there was a time in my church that I just, okay, don't just want to mention stuff. But these things are subject to change, subject to review. So we should not let this thing push innocent souls away. So we should focus on the faith, the doctrine, more than the doctrines. That should be the balance.
Hearing what you're saying, I feel like most of our problems still are some of our shepherds. I still feel like they need mentorship, they need discipleship, because sometimes even the founder can make a change because they know better. I have a friend, when he came to school, he doesn't shake ladies. He was not even talking to me, because when we asked, why are you like this? He said he doesn't talk to girls that wear trousers and all that. Okay. But right now, he hugs more than me.
Okay.
He had a lot of ideas, and when I heard it, I was like, let him just be on his own, let him be relating with guys. But now when you see he hugs, and he's more spiritual than, like, he's growing spiritual. It did not affect his spirit, it did not affect his purity, it was just idea. But there was a space, there was a place for growth, even in God. Right now, there are times that even the founder will grow, but the followers or their shepherds in other places, other locations, have refused to grow. So, will we tie this to mindset, or is it lack of discipleship? Will we call it lack of discipleship? Because most of the time, it is, I don't know what to call it.
For me, I don't want to say it the way it's coming to my heart, because our leaders, pastors, bishops, church fathers, there are things that they do intentionally, especially when we look at the concept of ministry in Nigeria. You notice that even there is a little bit of clique in between our leaders. Okay, this person assisting with this person, and what they kind of believe in differs. No, for example, now, if this pastor and this pastor and this pastor aligns together, what they believe in will kind of flow together. While we have another set that their own pattern is different. Now, I've been privileged to pastor a church before, a local church, where we have monthly pastors meeting. And in that pastors meeting, you actually look like, are these people pastors? That's when you would think like, there are some things that they do intentionally. Not all pastors. But there's a way a pastor can cage or limit the mindset of the people they are leading, just to control them. Just to put them under that, inside the box. There's a way a pastor will even preach to you. It happens like nowadays. I was like, before now, we don't hear about pastors coming to church and all they preach about is another pastor and what is another pastor is doing and not doing well. It is still because I don't want you to go, I don't want you to believe in so person's ministry. Right. So it can be intentional. Okay, for example, we've seen a pastor change his total belief system over the years. This pastor from 2000 and let's say from 1980 to probably 2010, he has been doing like this. And suddenly, it changed. Not that he did not know, but he's looking, I don't want, if I say it in marketing term, it will look like the church system is somehow. So, but the summary of it is, all these things can be intentional. That's why, as a growing Christian, please don't Bishop Pastor Faith Oyedepo said something. Don't live your life at the expense of any man of God. You don't know when it will or will not be connected to God. So a pastor can tell you something to deliberately keep you in the church. And there are some people that will intentionally and genuinely be interested in your growth. So if you see a pastor that wants to just keep you under, see, even as a pastor, you don't necessarily be the one to know everything.
Yes.
You know, there are things I've believed over the years that my pastor have been saying until I checked and confirmed online. I was like, this thing is actually far from being the truth.
They are humans too.
You get?
Yes.
But there are people that they will believe to the letter. They can lay their life down like this, that my pastor said. So, yes, pastors too, there's room for growth. They are not God. There are pastors that will also own it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If Daddy Adeboye can come out and own it that I said something this time and now I'm apologizing that this is not so. How arrogant can you be? If not that you just genuinely want to keep some people under you. There are a lot of things that, but this is not about ministry.
It's about the church.
Let's just keep that one there.
The message has been delivered. All right, to round this up, if Jesus was to come and correct things now, what do you think he would correct in this hour?
Well, I'm not Jesus, so
with how much
I won't say.
Do you know why? Well, one of the reasons why you came to mind for this is because you are. Everybody, please. He's into the film industry. You're a director, right?
Yes, I'm a director.
Yes, he's a director. We did not bring a pastor, a pastor, a GO, or we wanted somebody that is a Christian and also seeing things differently in the world, because a pastor who is just a pastor can only see the four corners of the church. But you work with youths, and most of the time you might have worked with people that are not really Christians, but they know their job, right? So you've worked with them. So yeah, that is why we believe that you are the best person for this. And I know you know Jesus, even with all that you have said. With should I say the little you know about Jesus?
Okay.
And what you have seen now in this our dispensation, you are also seeing things in social media. Right? What do you think Jesus will correct? Because sometimes I sincerely do ask myself, if Jesus had come in this our dispensation, I don't think many of us would have believed him. Would have believed he is Jesus. Would have still been like the Pharisees that Jesus was condemning. Maybe that is where some of us would have been, because we are not acting like people that would have. When I see people's mindsets, when you talk with them, right, I don't think that would have believed Jesus. Picking Matthew as a tax collector, going to a sinner's house to die, allowing Mary to touch his feet in the name of
a lot of things.
A lot of things. Or the David that we all love. I don't think any of us would have believed in David after killing somebody's husband and marrying his wife and all of that. There's a lot that would not have believed these men were in our dispensation. Right? So I just want, in your own...
Okay. We still have these men around, or people who are like these men around. But if I would say, the first thing I think Jesus would do is he will go to the temple and flog people again. He'll go inside our churches and flog people, because he wants to clean his body first.
Yeah.
He wants to clean and reshape, rebalance the body.
You know, the last time he flogged because they were selling.
Yes.
So why will he flog this time? Is it for the same reason?
Well, not necessarily because of... Okay, it's... Just today, I had a man speaking on this same issue. That, do you know that Jesus did not get angry for any reason? They beat him, crucified him, put a thief over him. he was not angry that the only thing he was angry at was because they were selling and buying inside the church, and that is what we do majorly in our churches today. There is buying and selling. That the only thing that Jesus flog people for. Most of us do it in the church today. But that is not why I said he would come.
Flog.
I think he will first work on his body. He will first work on his body, because most of us, even in the church, one way or the other, some of us are like Joshua the high priest, covered with this garment of sin that is limiting our influence. You get? So, cleaning the house, opening up our understanding to know. Now, is it first or second Peter? Is it first or second Peter when he said, God has given you all things that pertain to life and godliness? If we have all things that pertain to life and godliness, why are we still struggling to make impact in the world? Why are we still struggling? Is it that we have mentality issue or what? So if Jesus comes and wash his body and make us at our 100%, the world will be easier, because there will be so much disciples to work with. Now, instead of going outside, so he will first come to his bride, because that's what the book of Revelation also said. The bride is coming for the bride first. So, but this time we are not saying he's coming as to for rapture or anything, but to adjust and correct position the church well. So if one thing I really don't talk about things, and my wife will be like, anytime you don't talk about things, they bother you, but that's why you don't want to talk about it. Because in Nigeria, using Nigeria, if you compare the numbers of physical churches, the influence the church is supposed to have,
very low.
It's low.
Very, very low.
It's low. We have men in Africa, no one. There's no street in Nigeria that you go today that you will not hardly see one or two churches here and there. We have the numbers of church network in the whole of Africa.
In Kano, there is another state.
You get? Everywhere so what is limiting our influence? What is limiting our influence? So I think that will be one of the things that Jesus will
also change our mindset.
Work on. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We have come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for all of this that you've shared. It's actually eye-opening. If anybody is actually hearing with an open heart, because some people have they have refused to change. But if anybody is listening to this with an open heart, I believe that there's a lot of things to unlearn, to learn, and to relearn. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
The second time. Can you briefly tell us what you do? Also, where can we find you? Where can we see your movies? All of that, social media handles and all.
My name is Bewaji Oyemi Felix. I'm a filmmaker and a film teacher. I teach and I make movies. And my handle is King Bewa across all platforms, and on YouTube, The Groove Nation 001 and Revelation Studios. So I think
The Groove
Nation. The Groove Nation, yeah.
The Groove, GROOVE.
Yes.
All right.
The platform is actually to raise Christian creatives. So we have both music artists and film production on the platform.
Okay. The second one is
Revelation Studios. So that is just for films.
Okay. All right. Do well to subscribe to his channel. Follow him on all social media handles. And if you are yet to subscribe to Left Up Global, please do so. And do well to share this with as much as many as you can. And please, you can also share your ideas, what you think about what we learned from Mr. Bella and like as well. Thank you so much for staying until the end of this session. See you in our next episode. Bye.